Yo, my Christmas was like a lot of kids in the 80s. It was a good time to be young. The best of the best toys were available. You could almost not go wrong with the presents in the 80s. You go, your mother, your father goes down the toy aisle and they see action figures. Put it like this. If they got whatever they grabbed in the action figure aisle and you still had it right now, you'd be happy. That's pretty much how it goes. I mean, but we had trucks and race tracks and you could get board games. People got board games for Christmas. I got puzzles. Kind of not dope gifts. I have to talk about not dope gifts, but you almost could go. You almost couldn't go wrong. And that was the thing though, because your parents would go to the store and get you gifts. I never believed in Santa. I can't remember any time in my life, and I remember a lot. I remember 3 years old, so I don't remember ever believing in Santa. There's never been a picture of me with Santa. I never sat on his lap, never went to the mall. Shouts to Chris Hansen.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
But I never had pictures with Santa. I never believed. I don't know how people in my era did. I mean, like the TV shows. Now, see, I was raised with TV, like the Black Martin Tupper. TV shows showed you Santa wasn't real. You know, they'd have mall Santas and fake Santas, and TV shows would show the parents shopping and wrapping presents. I was like, man, it's a hustle. Okay, well, kids are stupid. Well played, but I don't believe in no. Listen, I know my parents are the one getting me this stuff, and plus, I lived in an apartment. We didn't have a chimney. There was no chimney, so. I didn't even know what a chimney was till I saw Mary Poppins. That was when I found out that thing was called a chimney. I was just like, I don't know, it's the fireplace. I thought it was the fireplace. It was the fireplace extension. What do I know from chimney? I'm from hood. Anyway. Plus, you had that Different Strokes episode when Garrett Morris put the putty on the drummer's door and went back and stole all their presents. He was a street corner Santa. I was like, get out of here. Anyway, we never had a real Christmas tree either. It seems like I had the worst childhood. I didn't. But we never had a real Christmas tree. When I was growing up, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like, for real Christmas tree, like a real ass wood. Like on TV, you would see people go out to like tree farms and pick out a tree. I just assumed that those were also fake because you would just grab them. They didn't. I just thought that that was the tree mall. I don't know. I never had to go buy a tree. My mother, it was just there. And I was little. It was fucking. What do I know? And eventually on TV, you see people going out and chopping trees on TV, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's a real ass. But why would you want a real ass tree in your house? And it got bugs all over it, got outside all over it. I don't want outside inside. You're supposed to bark. Fucking who wants bark? And there fucking pine needles all over the place. And don't you have to water it or some shit? I don't understand. We had this 2-foot tall fake ass tree when I was real young. I had these little color coded hooks at the end of the branches, so you know where to put them at on the base, so it would make a real tree. Cause I got to put it together. I knew colors. And then after you do that, you'd hang the ornaments and the lights. It was good enough for me. It lit up. It had presents under it. I was sold. And who came up with popcorn on a string? And now it's just dumb. You see TV and they're like, oh, we're gonna fucking string the popcorn. I think we tried it one time. Like my mother, I was probably like 5 or something. My mother's like, "Oh, you want to put some popcorn on the tree?" And I'm like, "No, but sure. I'm a kid. What the fuck?" Because and you pop the popcorn and you eat it. Ain't nobody, nobody got time to needle no damn corn. Fucking, how can you smell popcorn and not eat it? And we're gonna put a needle and thread and string it. And why would you do that? It's just me. I'm the only child. Who is that for? Nobody's coming over to look at the fuck. I want to eat the popcorn. I don't. It's not, and it's not like it's pretty. And I don't fucking know. And the people that have real trees, why would you want to put fucking real ass Jiffy Pop on you? And this was back before you had a microwave to pop your popcorn. You would have to put some oil in a pot and some seeds, and you had to stand there and move the pot over the eye while it's heating up and popping the popcorn. Unless you had to stand there, or you had a Jiffy Pop fucking thing with the handle, and the foil gets all big and looks like a big foil afro. So, but you had to stand there. There was no beep, and then you go somewhere. So why would you put all that effort into put? What do I know from anything? Then we got a 6-foot fake tree, which again I didn't want a real tree anyway. So we got it's like a 6-foot tall joint. I love that tree when it was up. When it was up and dressed, isn't that what trim? Why would you? I don't know why they call it trim. So when it was up and treeified, I loved it. But I hated taking it down, and I hated going to store it or retrieve it from the basement. And that was the worst stuff ever. And you want to know why? Because there was water bugs down there, and I don't know what else was down there, but I know for a fact it was big ass baby fist size water bugs down there. And I don't do bugs. I don't do insects. Fuck all that. So I would have to go down there. I don't know what's down there. See, look, this wasn't a nice house like you guys is listening have. This was a storage unit in the basement of an apartment complex, shared by other people, trifling people. Like, everybody's not clean and pristine like me. Anyway, so my mother would be like, "Hey, it's Christmas time. You gonna go get the tree?" I'm like, can't you go get you're the grown up here. So I had to go get the tree, and it's in a cardboard box, and it's open at the top. So I'm like, I don't know, it's crawled in there. Could be scorpions and fucking goat. There might be a goat in there. I don't know what the fuck is in this box. I had to go down there, and I had to go inside. I don't want to go inside the storage thing. I don't know what's stepping on. And so I had to go in there, get it in, bring it up. And it was always at night. My mother would always tell me to do it at night. Like, why can't I go when it's real sunny and it's light shining through the... Anyway, so I go get it, and I didn't want to turn on the lights because I'd see bugs. But I didn't want to do it in the dark because it was scary. Listen, I was 8. I could be scared, but I went and got it. Anyway, Christmas, we had... there's not a lot of TV traditions for Christmas. Christmas kind of it's gifts. Christmas kind of gets played on everything else. TV, you got the Peanuts cartoon, of course. You got the Peanuts. Peanuts got something for everything. It's a fucking Arbor Day, Charlie Brown. You got that. G.I. Joe had Cobra Claws is coming to town. That was something. Spider-Man had one. Pac-Man cartoon had one. Real Ghostbusters had one. I remember Fat Albert did. I think Garfield had a cartoon special, like Bobby's World count. Chipmunks, I think I'm gonna do a list on the site. I think I should do like the cartoon Christmas specials that I can remember. So, And oh well, of course, not a cartoon, but Christmas Story. That's still a TV tradition. Everybody loves Christmas Story. Um, I don't even remember. I've seen Christmas Story more times than I've seen some family members in my life. I don't remember the first time I saw it. I'm pretty sure I'd never see it if it wasn't on all day. Because for as long as I can remember, it was marathon. So it was probably because I had nothing else to do. There was nothing on, and I'm probably waiting to either go to sleep or waiting for midnight so I could open some presents. Flipping channels, and it you just stop. You just stop and you watch it. You flip channels. You're just like, all right, let me check this out. And no one ever says you have to watch this movie. Like, well, I mean, maybe now because we are all grown up. 80s babies growing up, and you tell your kids, if you got kids, like, you gotta see this movie. But when we were growing up, no, my parents were never like, yeah, you gotta watch this movie. I don't even know if my mother's seen it. But nobody ever says this is a must watch. You just end up seeing it. It's a classic though. It's a big classic. Shouts to Ralphie. But I'll tell you what's not a classic. That damn sequel that they tried to make. That's not a classic. My Summer fucking Story or some shit. That, no. And whatever new sequel they tried to make that nobody cares about. I'd rather watch the Summer Vacation bullshit. See, but it's not my favorite Christmas movie. Like, my favorite Christmas movies aren't really Christmas movies, though. Like, my top 5 Christmas movies would be Rocky 4. That was Christmas. Long Kiss Goodnight. That was Christmas. Charlie Baltimore was in the Christmas parade there. Gremlins. Again, Christmas movie. A Gizmo was rolling in the Barbie pink caddy at some point, right? Trading Places. The stuffing and ham that Lewis had in his Santa suit and his beard was hilariously disgusting. And of course, Die Hard. Argyle played Christmas in Hollis in the limo. The limo driver, he played Christmas in Hollis. And Lethal Weapon, you gotta like the first Lethal Weapon, and Die Hard 2, also a Christmas movie. So those are my Christmas movies. I don't really, all the other stuff, I don't really care. So this is me. This is the eclectic Christmas. I'm just thinking about stuff that went on and things I think about during Christmas. I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna break this up so you don't just listen to me keep talking. So I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Christmas and more Christmas after this.
Was the night before Christmas, and all through the ship, not a sensor was flashing, not even a blip. The small units were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of Atari games zoomed through their heads. When all of a sudden there was a huge blast. We were being invaded. I had to act fast. I ran to the bridge to assume the command, and there found St. Nicholas with joystick in hand. The sounds I had thought were an alien mission were really just Santa playing pole position. Then with Miss Pac-Man, he gobbled and scored. He plugged in Jungle Hunt and played till he roared. With a smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, he blasted the centipede out of the sky. Then from his sack he pulled dozens of games, all the great ones from Atari, our favorite names. Before I could thank him, he was again on his way. He beamed himself out right into his sleigh. But I heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Back to the show.
Now, see, the thing about Christmas is shopping and gifts. It doesn't get like the big dinner treatment like Thanksgiving. I mean, I guess you can't have two huge meals so close together. Besides, Thanksgiving is eat and watch football and yell or be yelled or at or be annoyed by your family. You know, that's Thanksgiving's thing. The Christmas, I guess people do have Christmas, man. I don't know. My family's different. Christmas, you get gifts from your family, and it's be happy time. There's no universal food though. What, a Christmas ham? A yak? Is it a Yuletide yak? Is that a thing? Probably not. I don't know. I have pizza, so I get jalapenos and pepperoni. That's red and green. See, festive. Shouts to Festivus, but that's festive. Eggnog is a thing. That's a thing. I remember loving eggnog when I was young, though. Nothing else tasted like it. It only came around once a year. And where the fuck is eggnog the rest of the year? Maybe I want some eggnog in the summer. No, but I'm just saying, what if I did? Like, eggnog's drunk ass just shows up in November like what it is, and then it bounces in January. I'm just saying, what if I wanted a nice eggnog milkshake? Cookout has eggnog milkshakes. Anyway, I remember it being great. I also drink milk back then, so I wasn't bright. Who drinks milk? I'm sorry, if you drink milk, enjoy it. It's just after the PSAs, when I was 10, I kind of gave up on milk. But then, for someone like me, who doesn't enjoy eggs at all, and I'm honestly not a fan of milk, it never dawned on me that egg in the word eggnog meant eggs. Because I wasn't a bright kid. So I stopped drinking it once I was like, and I stopped drinking. Every now and then I might take a swig of the eggnog, especially if you drop some Southern Comfort or some rum or any alcoholic beverage, because I'm a lush. Then eggnog is decent. Now, I truly enjoy some eggnog and a slice of pie, like pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, pecan pie. Yeah, those three. You give me some eggnog and a slice of pie, maybe a slice of cake, yellow cake. I don't do that chocolate cake, sizzle.
Because you're black.
Or a sleeve of double stuff. You give me a whole fucking big ass double stuff. It gotta be double stuff. I don't want single stuff. I don't want one ass stuff. I need two stuffs. and then you're talking. Then I can enjoy some eggnog. And the other thing about eggnog is it's also acceptable in solo cups. You know, the plastic cups, maybe, due to the potential alcoholic content, I suppose. I only say this because it's unlike milk, which you never have in a cup. No one drinks milk in a cup. It's the only fancy schmancy liquid that's too fucking good for a cup. The carton is paper. But have you ever seen or had some milk from anything in a glass other than cereal? It's always in a glass. Unless your cereal bowl, that's the only plastic and the fucking, I don't know what the thing is about milk. Nobody just says, give me a cup of milk. Now, milkshake, sure. Milk, no. It's always in a fucking glass. Anyway, Christmas. No, wait. Speaking of edibles and Christmas, I hate that tin of Royal Dansk shortbread, thick ass, door width shortbread cookies. Them shits shaped like a giant eraser, and then the one shaped like a pretzel with the big ass Atari pixel size sugar that's sprinkled on top of them. The ones your grandmother always magically had, but no one ever bought them. They just your grandmother would just have them. They just show up. You would literally be sitting on the couch next to your grandmother and turn to look at the TV and turn back, and it was a big ass tin of those fucking cookies. They just fucking show up. They're like moles. When you get older, you go to the mirror and you look like, where the fuck that mole come from? It just shows up. Nobody buys those, and no one would eat them. And listen, if you're listening to this and you're saying I love those cookies, you're a liar. But fine, good for you, more for you. But as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen anyone eat more than half of one with a smile on their face. And then those damn cookies had those little punk ass white doilies. They said in fucking fancy ass white. So then your grandmother would use the empty tin. I don't know how I got empty because nobody ate those fucking awful, horrid ass cookies. But then she would use the tin for some extra bullshit like some hairpins or buttons or condoms. I don't know. Your grandmother might be doing her thing. I don't know what your granny's up to. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use it for condoms, and I'm gonna keep the white doilies. Like, yeah, let's do this. But first, let me go on my tin. Yeah, got my doilies in. Pick out a condom. Anyway, I never went to open presents before Christmas. I was like ruining the surprise. I never went hunting around the house for presents. The dopest thing about Christmas was the big reveal. You wanted to see what you got, you wanted to open up stuff and see. It was the magician reveal. Yeah. And you know why else I never believed in Santa? Because for a few years, my parents wrapped my presents in newspaper. Told you, I weren't a big family of means. But newspaper though, I'm like, I know Santa doesn't read the Dayton Daily News. Shout out to Ohio. Anyway, the reveal is the dope part of Christmas. Waking up early or waiting till midnight and ripping open presents. That's what it was about. I don't want breakfast. I don't need the TV on. I'm not getting dressed. Skip the juice. I don't need juice. I don't need cereal. No Fruity Pebbles. I want to rip open presents. I want to hear rip, rip, rippity rip. That's what I want. And like, remember like Christmas morning, how dope that would be? Like, what if it was on a Saturday in the mid 80s? Like, what if Christmas fell on a Saturday in the mid 80s? You would have Saturday morning cartoons plus Christmas rippity rip gifts. You have your Smurfs and your Dungeons and Dragons and Foofer. I don't fucking know who watches Foofer, but you know your Snorks and your Mork and Laverne and Shirley was in the army and had to report to a pig. But you would have all of those joints and plus Christmas. That would have been crazy. And see, it never happened. Now the crack staff here at the EDP, the eclecturns, did research, and we discovered that the only time Christmas fell on Saturday in the 80s was 82. Other than that, it didn't happen. It would have been nice, like 86, 87, 88. Would have been ridiculous sauce. But yeah, anyway. Like, the gifts were great. You would spend all year looking in the best in the Sears catalog, and the best catalog was crazy, mad thick. The Sears too, because we had a best up the street, and so we walk in there and just look in amazement. But you would scope out all the things, and the Toys R Us and down the aisles. We had Children's Palace too, so we scope all the Children's Palace stuff. We with scope and with scoop. Shouts down to scoop. But we would cut things out of the best catalog and tape them. I tape them onto my door. I never did a list to Santa because I didn't believe in them. I knew who to talk to. It was the people that brought the groceries and everything else. They was who was gonna give me the stuff that I wanted. So I would tape stuff on my door like, if you're walking by, you might want to get me this mini arcade game. So you would do it. You would do it like that. But it was like the best times because you just wait to see what you get, and your parents would have fun with it, and they wouldn't tell you, and they, it was great. Now parents would just drive you to the store and be like, "Hey, here's your gift. Here's $50. Go get you something." I'm just saying. Now, let me tell you what my mother did. Picture it. Ohio, 1989. So all my friends had a Genesis. So I needed a Genesis. That's the rule. If they got a Genesis, I need a Genesis. I'm gonna have to do a Genesis show. I loved my Genesis. Anyway, ever since the summer, because that's when it dropped. And see, shit like that dropped in the summer. It was like August or something. They didn't wait for Christmas to get your Christmas cash because there was so many things out. It was fuck it, whatever. But anyway, so I needed a Genesis, and it was summer, and I was begging. I was probably still rocking my Sega Master System. I didn't even have a Nintendo at the time. I don't think. Anyway, I begged for one. My mother was like, no. I don't remember if I asked my father. All I know is everybody was like, no. It was too expensive. I was probably getting like D's in school. Who the fuck knows? But it was like, no. And Christmas time came, so it came out August. So I'm begging September, October, and November for this Genesis. Meanwhile, I'm going on my friend's house. Like, yeah, check it out, Pat Riley basketball. I'm like, fuck. But anyway, so it was Christmas time came, and it was like the week of, day before Christmas. I think they call that Christmas Eve. I think it was on like a Sunday. I had finally wore it down, and she was like, fine, she'd get me one. And we could go to the store, and she'd buy it for me. And this was like Christmas Eve. So, Christmas Eve, everything's not open all day. And I'm like, let's go. You stop telling me that you get your purse. This is back when they called it pocketbook. Get your pocketbook, which you got money. Let's fucking. So we drove to Children's Palace. I remember the exact route to the spot in the store where they were, where the aisle was, where the shelf is. I also remember that they were sold out and there wasn't anything there. So I was distraught. Then they said that they'd have some in after the holiday, shipment come in, so take one of those rain check deals and I could be guaranteed one. And my mother was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, get a game or two now so you at least have some games for when it comes out in case the games that I want, she didn't want to come back and I get one. And then I said, well, now they don't have the games I want. So she was like, get a couple of games. I was like, no, I don't want games if I don't have a Genesis. Now let's go to Toys R Us because I told you we had Children's Palace, Toys R Us. Toys R Us was 2 streets over. I said, let's go to Toys R Us. I need my Genesis. So we go to Toys R Us. I also remember the glass where they kept the Genesis in Toys R Us. I also remember it was devoid of any Genesis. And that's the plural of Genesis. Genocide. Anyway, rain check. She was like, well, get a game. I was like, I don't. Okay, all right. I got Lakers versus Celtics, and I got something else. I don't know. I ain't care. I don't remember. So then I'm riding home with the pissed off face. Mind you, Christmas is tomorrow. I should be hyped, but I know what I'm not getting, so I was distraught. And I know what you're thinking. Ha ha ha, it was under the tree. Ha ha ha, it was not. So, nothing under the tree was the size of a Genesis. I know how big the box is. Anyway, Christmas came, I opened up my gifts, and I didn't do so bad. I had got some cool stuff, but genuine for $89. I got some good stuff. So I was happy, but I still wanted my Genesis. But so Christmas came, we got eggnog, and the Christmas music's playing. I had my Chipmunks Christmas album. It was dope, and I had another Disney Christmas album that had some shit. I was jamming, and I don't know if I got a bike that year. I might have got a bike. I might have been the Stu Thompson year. I don't remember. But anyway, I was going outside for something. Maybe to play or brag about what I got. And my mother was like, go. My mother's always sending me on stupid errands. And so I'm like, it's Christmas. I want to go play with the toys and the stuff. And she's like, well, go out to the car. I think she forgot her cigarettes or something because my mother's a smoker. I'm not a smoker. That has nothing to do with the story. So she says, go to the car. Forgot. No, she had went shopping. She had went to the store to get some food or something, groceries, and she left something in the trunk. I was like, she's like, well, here, go take the keys, go and get my stuff out of the trunk so I can cook it or whatever the hell. So I go outside, go in the trunk. It's a Sega Genesis in the trunk. That happened. It was some straight sitcom or after school special happy. Like it was stars all over my head. I was smiling and floating. Mind you, it's Christmas. So all the stores were closed. We drove around all day the day before looking for this Genesis, and it was in the fucking trunk the whole time. It was behind my back the whole time. She knew it. She didn't let on. She didn't smile or giggle or snicker. She just fucking... We drove around. Anyway, so I grab it. I was running back in the house. Hey, you want to play? No, I'm not playing today. Going in the house. So I went in the house. There was so many hugs and kisses. I might have molested my mother that day. Shouts to Chris Hansen, the family edition.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline
I don't know
NBC.
how she pulled that off. Like, look, what if they did have one at the store? She would have had to buy two. And we ain't had no money for two. I mean, I guess she could have taken the other one back. It can make sense. So she had the receipt, take the other one back. Either way, it was well played, and she gets all the props. Anyway, let me take another break because that story took longer than I thought it was, and I'll come back and we'll talk more stuff. Be back.
Something good to eat. Joy of the holidays, everyone celebrate. There's something special about the way it all comes together. When it all comes together, good times to remember. Getting up of the holidays, oh yeah. When I was a kid, hanging with friends, and we played in the snow. We played in the snow. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time.
I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't wanna grow up.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got the best for so much less.
You'll really flip your lid.
Some bikes too, trains too, video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz. I don't wanna grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
Once a Toys R Us kid.
Always a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah. Now, listen. Genesis, crazy. Everybody was happy. And by everybody, it means me. And I guess that's why she told me to get the games, because She didn't know what games I wanted. She just made sure I had the Genesis, so we got the games. She's a very smart woman, way smarter than me. Don't tell her I said that. But the gifts wasn't always the shit. I told you, one year I got like Sesame Street puzzles, like fucking jigsaw. Who wants to work when you fucking? I don't want puzzles. I got puzzles. I got sweatsuits. One year I got this maroon sweatsuit. Like it wasn't even fucking. It wasn't no name brand, and it was just maroon sweat. I'm like, what am I? Why? Now I got this pony. Remember Pony, the sneakers? I had this Pony jogging suit. It was gray, and it had the yellow Pony logo on it, which was kind of dope, except for it was mad thin, like mad thin. Like you could see like areola. Even if I had on a shirt, you could still see. It had X-ray fucking properties that you could just see through whatever the fuck. I could have had on a sweater under the sweatshirt. You still would have saw the fucking areola. That shit was awful. I got some socks and underwear. Who gives you underwear? Like, don't fucking, just don't stuff my stocking if you're gonna put fucking, get out of here. But I did have like dope gifts. I had my Dukes of Hazzard racetrack, which was dope. And see, kids these days, they don't know from racetracks. You just you put your car on there, and you pull the trigger and watch them zoom around. And this was dope because it was one of the first ones that had a ramp. So you had a little space and they would jump the ramp. And it was the Yeehaw. It was Dukes of Hazzard. And then the police car, the Roscoe Pico train, had the working lights at the top. Crazy. And then, you know, all your friends would have racetracks, and the smart people would try to soup them up to make them go faster or do some shit. You know, whatever the fuck. But I got that. One year, I got my Atari 2600, which was dope, and I got a TV. Like it was like a fucking 8-inch black and white, but I still got it. Because this was back in the day when you didn't have a TV in your room. You had the TV that was in the living room. You had to fight for it. So if I got an Atari, it was just, I could only play when, so couldn't play on the color joint. You play on the color joint when mother's gone to sleep or something, but I had my own black and white TV. That was dope. Genesis, of course. Oh, Jetfire. When I got my Jetfire, you call it Skyfire, depending on when you got it, where you got it, Transformer. I don't like Autobots. I don't like the good guys, except for a few. But that joint I had to have. It was huge. And because I had my Cobra Night Raven, and I had Jetfire. The Jetfire transformed, so he won. But that was one of my favorite Christmas gifts ever. Got an electric keyboard. Looked like Teddy Riley was playing Eclectik's Jam. I composed mad songs on that electric keyboard that you'll never hear. I got an electric keyboard. I got a chemistry set because I was a big fat nerd. Maybe not fat, but I was a nerd. And it had like, this was a for real chemistry set. Like, I don't know what they give people now, but I mean, it had a fucking Bunsen burner and like the elements. It was like real fucking kill yourself. It was real kill yourself elements in there. And I was trying to, like, I was mixing shit and it was bubbling and stinking, and I was like, damn. And this was like right after I saw like a Bugs Bunny. Remember the Bugs Bunny? The Tweety Bird Sylvester joint where he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he mixed up the stuff, and Tweety Bird turned into a big monster and was scaring Sylvester. I was like, damn, what if I drink this? I might get monster powers. I ain't drink it because I would have died. But I got that, and it had like mad shit in it, like iron filings, and anyway, chemistry set. I got my dual cassette radio. It was black, dual cassette with the detachable speakers, and it had the high speed dubbing. So when you're trying to record stuff real fast, sound like chipmunks. That was incredible. Couldn't tell me nothing because I had the detachable speaker, so I had it set up on my my headboard. I had a headboard. That was a G. and I had a middle, and then I put the speakers on far left and right of the headboard, so I had surround sound, and 85. So I got like mad shit. It was a good time. But anyway, listen. That's it for the Christmas show. I could have talked about the TV, special TV episodes, but I did a post on the website. I did a post for the sitcom Christmas special, so you can check that out on the website. I didn't really talk about music too much because I don't really care about Christmas songs that much. But I did find some old, extra obscure R&B Christmas songs that's also on the feed, so you can listen to that after you're done listening to this. I mean, come on, Jagged Edge made a Christmas song, you gotta listen to it. So thank you for listening to the Christmas show. This can be played yearly like the classics. So you got Christmas in Hollis, and you have me. So you listen to this, and then you listen to the R&B 90s rare Christmas playlist while you're washing dishes. And I don't know. In the meantime, in between time, and look, it's Devin. He's back.
Appreciation.
With your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover.
Come here. Got a package. Let me see. Wait, I know what I want for Christmas. What you want? I want T-Bars to give me some headphone sets, and I want Pepsi to make me a fly dress. Well, Merry Christmas from the CEO.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.